All right. There is some major news that Delta came out with today that was really important for us and for our family. So I said, Laura, get the camera on there. Let's go live to talk about what the news was today. So first off, thanks to the Instagram feed from the Points guy, because it's the one that tipped me off on this. So if any of you know my flying preferences over to London, I am a huge fan of the day flight. This is a flight where you leave in the morning and you arrive right at night in your destination in London. You leave from New York generally and you show up in London across the way. So I have done this before. I've done this on Virgin Atlantic before, a couple of years ago. I've done this flight on United just 1 year ago around this time of year. We actually have a video from that United flight a year ago. And I love it. You get on and the point is you just stay awake through the whole flight and you land. And when you land, you go have dinner and then you go to bed. And magically, you wake up the next morning and you are completely adjusted to the time of your destination. But this is London. And so the only place where you're able to get this flight or have been able to get this flight is to London. And I've always been frustrated that there is nowhere else where you can go to in Europe, even like on the western coast of Europe, where you can actually take this day flight until today. And by today, I mean in the future when this flight actually happens. But today, Delta announced that they were going to launch a date. They didn't announce it. They just dropped it. They said they began a flight that on March 31st, 2024, there's a day flight leaving from JFK going to Paris, which is awesome. So this wish that I have had for a while is actually being fulfilled. So it's going to be on a 767-400. Something that's interesting, so we're looking at the meals that are being served. It's a brunch service and then a snack service. That's what they list it as. It's a little bit different than when you take a red eye where you get dinner and then you get like a breakfast when you wake up the next morning. So this is more of like a big brunch is the main meal that's being served, followed by a snack. I don't know if that feels a little bit lighter than what you would normally get on the red eye, but we'll see. All to say, this is a huge benefit for us, especially traveling with kids, right? To have to worry about kids on a red eye always creates a whole lot of stress for us. So to be able to have a flight where the point of it is basically just to stay awake the whole day is actually really exciting for us. So how does this apply to us? Well, we were in the process of figuring out what our spring break trip was going to be for next year. We were thinking of like, oh, maybe we'll go to like Western Pennsylvania and then like down into Kentucky and go to the Bourbon Trail. And so we were thinking about a version like that. We were thinking about another version where it was going to be like Charleston and Savannah and Hilton Head, which places we've been before, but you know, haven't done actually with the kids. So we were like, well, that's another option. But this flight, this inaugural flight, is going to take place on March 31st next year. It's Easter Sunday. We said, okay, this is going to be the way to cap off the start of our spring break. So we went ahead and we said, okay, this is going to be our spring break trip for 2024. And so we locked it in, and we're going to be taking this inaugural day flight out of JFK into CDG. And we're going to probably break it up into two parts. We'll probably spend about 4 days in Paris proper, and we'll probably spend about 2 days in Disneyland Paris. And there you go. And we're going to enjoy it, and we're going to find all of the various gluten-free, dairy-free food options that exist for us. So that's going to be an adventure for us that we will participate in. If you have any suggestions on where to stay, go ahead and throw that in the comments. I haven't been to Paris in years. Laura hasn't been to Paris in even longer. I've gone through the airport once in the last couple of years, but I haven't actually been outside. So like, does anyone have any good ideas for where to stay with 5, maybe even more people if we end up bringing any grandparents with us? including 3 kids. Want to be mindful of that. So we'll take any suggestions that people might have. If you have any gluten-free, dairy-free recommendations for restaurants, go ahead and throw those in the comments as well. So our planning begins. If you're watching us for the first time, we would love it if you were to subscribe, not only to see those videos when they come out next spring, but also other things that we have going on. Laura and I are actually going to be in France in the next couple of weeks. So if you need your France kick before we go to Paris, we'll be in the southern part of France. So watch out for those videos. So that's the news. Thank you, Delta, for fulfilling my dream of a day flight to somewhere other than London. We are excited to take that trip, and we will see you all later. Thank you so much. Bye.